Hello, this is Gloomy Sunday, and once again, I will be sharing spooky stories that will send shivers down your thorny spine. Without further ado, let's begin tonight's creepy, spooky, and sometimes outlandish array of tales. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. This happened about 2 years ago. I was 21 then. My siblings and I would always go fishing all night by the river and have a blast. One night changed us forever, and sometimes we would still talk about what happened to us. We were fishing for sturgeon. At this time, sturgeon would come up Sacramento River. The place we decided to fish at was a little, hidden fishing spot on the Sac River located in Knights Landing, small little town, a pretty chill town. This spot was a sandy bank shore, and the only way to get there is you have to go through an open field off the road, then a small forest about a 10-minute walk to get the riverbank. We were a group of 4 and it was going to be an overnight trip. We packed enough to eat and beverage to just kick it on the banks. We got there early in the morning. We fished all day long and just having a good time. We got really excited, and we caught fish, and it was just a good-ass day. It started to get dark, so we set up camp and had a fire going too. It got really dark. The moon was out, very bright, so you can see the outline of the trees and whatever. We were still fishing 4 hours after dark, and suddenly my brother remarked that it was quiet, too quiet. Don't forget, at this time of the year, you would hear crickets and frogs, but the thing was, we didn't hear them at all. I thought this was weird too, but we all just shook it off. It was nothing because the area we were at was sandy anyway. I happened to check the time, and it was 2:58 a.m. We're just fishing with the firelight very bright behind our backs. I remember talking to my brother about this boy who has been flirting with me, and out of the blue, we all heard a loud splash on the other side of the bank. We thought that was weird, and it kind of spooked us, but again, we just thought it was sea otters because otters always make louder splashes. About 20 minutes after that, we decide to just set out bait for sturgeon and go back to our campfire. We were chilling and having a fun time talking. All of a sudden, my oldest brother saw a lady in yellow drenched in water. She was walking up to our camp. Now at this time, all of us got scared witless. I think I almost pissed my panty. My older brother is a friendly guy, and so he invited her to our campfire. My brother asked the mysterious woman questions, but she kept her eyes on the fire and remained silent. I got a good look at her face. She was Caucasian. Her faces had a ghostly look. Her skin was pale white, and she had blonde hair, but they looked old and dirty. The yellow jacket that she was wearing was torn and dirty, like old clothes that's been outside for years. What was even more weird, why the hell is she wearing a jacket in the middle of the summer? I knew something was off, and so I was like, I'm gonna head back to the car to grab something. My younger brother and I both went back. We weren't just walking. We were running. 5 minutes after we got back to our car, we saw our other brother and sister running towards us. All of a sudden, the wind picked up like a monstrous storm, and then silently became a crazy buzzing, high-pitched sound. Then we all heard her say, "Why did you leave me?" in our native language, which was Chinese. How can she speak Chinese? We all booked it. We all jumped into the car and took off heading to Woodland and decided to get a hotel there. The next day we went back to check out the spot. All of our stuff was scattered everywhere. Some stuff were in the trees. Now these trees weren't just small trees. These were 50 to 60-foot trees. Our little campsite was a mess. We just grabbed everything that we could grab and left. On the way back home, my older brother told us something that I can never imagine. He told us that, after we left, the girl began to mumble words and weird languages, and then she spoke in Chinese. My brothers got up real quick and saw that her eyes were getting white, and blood was dripping out from her eyes. That was when they took off. They said that she was chasing them, but she wasn't running, she was gliding. They thought they were going to die. After passing the forest end, the girl stopped chasing but was growling and screaming. This was something I never, ever wanted to experience. Ever since this encounter, we never went back there ever. History of that place: it was a known location for hanging African Americans way back in the days, and also a place for witchcraft. That is so suspenseful. I am glad they escaped with their lives. Who knows what that swamp witch wanted to do? Let's hear another one. I've had numerous sleep paralysis events throughout my life, but this is one of them. This happened a couple of years ago during summer. It was super hot, so I decided to sleep in the basement alone. None of my siblings wanted to join me. As a kid, I was an easily frightened person. However, I've grown out of that and was not scared to sleep alone. That night, I dreamt about going back to my dorms and unpacking my things. I was a college student staying at home temporarily. The next part of that dream was me dreaming that I was going to bed. While in bed in this dream, I heard my roommate's voice calling my name in the distance. I opened my eyes and couldn't see anything because my blanket was covering to my eyes. The basement was cold, so I was probably bundled up. I knew instinctively that the voice wasn't my roommate's and something else, so I did not answer. This is when I became aware I was dreaming and forced myself to wake up. While waking up, this was when I experienced sleep paralysis and couldn't move. This time, instead of a voice, I felt a presence in the room with me. Although I couldn't see it because my eyes were partially covered by my blanket, I could feel it coming closer to me like it was going to sit on me. The whole time I was not afraid of the thing, surprisingly, and instead was angry about it, which is so strange to me because I'm scared as heck writing this, but it was just an instinct. As it got closer, I started to yell at it in my head to go away. My grandma is a faith healer, and from experience, I started saying what my grandma would say: "If you come any closer, I will send lightning to kill you." Or, "What makes you think you can just do this?" While being forceful, angry, and not showing fear. I think because of that, it couldn't touch me, but it got so close that I could make out its appearance before it left. I was able to see her face up to her shoulders coming up to me and staring down at me. It was an old lady with very pale, unhealthy, and frail skin. Her hair was black, very long, and messy. Basically, a witch-like appearance with a long tongue looking at me. She made a smirk on her face, then disappeared. I was able to break out of my sleep paralysis after and woke up. This was my first time experiencing what elders always say about things calling your name and to not answer. It also mimicked my roommate's voice, who is one of my closest friends and who I trust. It was also my first time doing what elders tell you to do in these situations: to not be fearful, have confidence in yourself, and yell at it to go away, and it worked. Just wanted to share for those who may face similar situations. Be strong-minded. As the saying goes, fake it till you make it. It is a good idea to put up a brave front at all times. Let us do one more story. One day a father and son went fishing on a boat not too far away from their home. The father was at the very front of the boat while the son was at the very back of the boat. While fishing, the father got really tired and decided to sleep for a while. When he woke up, he realized that his son wasn't there anymore. He dived into the water and looked for his son, but his son was nowhere to be found. He swam up to the shore and ran home hoping that his son was there. Unfortunately, he wasn't. The father got really worried and called the cops. They investigated the lake and nearby surroundings but couldn't find any trace of the missing son. Days and nights passed as everyone continued searching for the missing boy. Finally, one day a cop had a dream about the missing boy. In the dream, the boy walked up to the cop and said,
How can you guys not find my body? I'm only under the boat.
After he said that, the cop immediately woke up. Curious about the dream, the cop went to the boat the following morning and took a deep breath. He pulled the boat out of the water, and there was the missing boy stuck under the fan-like thingy that kept the boat moving. How horrible! What is wrong with the father? If he was indeed too tired, he should have gone back to their house to sleep. This is not really that spooky, but very sad. I hope you enjoyed our spooky and strange stories. Join us next time for more. Take care and boo-bye.